Hi, this is Political News in 5, and today is April 24th, 2022, and I'm Aisha Osuri. Now, during the Second Republic, Umar Diko famously said to MK Abiola, the Nigerian presidency is not for sale. Last week, APC told us that they do not agree with this because they've set their nomination form fees at 100 million naira, which is about $240,000. The condemnation has been wide and it has been swift. Not only is this a lot more than double what PDP is asking for its own presidential aspirants, it's also more than double what APC asked for during the 2019 elections. To put it in a bit of context, when President Akufo-Addo of Ghana was running for re-election in 2020, his party, the New Patriotic Party, the nomination forms were $3,500 less. It was just, I'm rounding up. For Kenya, in the elections that are going to be taking place in August of this year, one of the major parties, the UAD, the forms come up to $8,600. In Zimbabwe, the presidential forms are for $1,000, which is set by the election management body, which is their own version of INEC. Now, we have an electoral act that sort of concedes that our elections are monetized, setting a cap for election finances at $5 billion, which is about $12 million. And one has to ask, is this 100 million part of what is considered the 5 billion, or is that 5 billion merely just for the campaign? For those of us who are worried about the very low quality of our public services in Nigeria, health, education, of course, which is ranking, we have to ask ourselves, when will we ever have the money to invest properly in improving the quality of our health and education if we're spending all our money repaying those who invest in elections? Because that's what it is. This is an investment that must get returns. Second thing I want to talk about is the fact that the plan for a consensus candidate for the PDP Northern Caucus, who want to be president in 2023, has fallen apart. It was always shaky in the first place because Atiku wasn't part of it, neither was Sule Lamido, former governor of Jigawa. Now, the so-called consensus was supposed to be between four of the candidates, Saraki, Tambuwal, Bala Mohammed, and Hayatuddin. Last week, we heard that the Ango Abdullahi-led process has resulted in Saraki and Bello Mohammed as the strongest candidates, which again is also a non-starter because are you now going to ask Saraki and Bala Mohammed to do a toying course to decide heads, tails, who does? I mean, if you're not going to give us somebody definitive who's going to run on behalf of the North, then don't bother with the process. This zoning issue can break PDP. It can destabilize the party. Now there's 17 presidential aspirants that might be going into the primaries unless maybe the Southerners are also deciding to come together and pick the strongest candidate from amongst themselves so that they can give the Northern candidates a good run for their money. Maybe a debate would help. Who knows? Finally, the third thing I want to talk about today is the Aisha Buhari dinner. Now, when the news came that she was planning to host a dinner for presidential aspirants, there were two main, at least, issues for people who heard the news. The first was just the temerity, like, where is this woman coming from? Who has ever done this? The second was that she had asked that candidates, aspirants who are coming, invitees, had to leave their phones behind so that people could have a nice, open chat without being recorded, which makes, for me, a lot of sense. Now, it turns out from news reports about the dinner, which held yesterday, that the main objective was to talk about women's political participation. And she made a pitch saying that women should be considered as running mates. So she might have been telling the presidential aspirants who were there, not all of them were there, all of the PDP aspirants boycotted the dinner except for Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi, who was there. Anyway, she made a pitch for women and also said a bunch of other stuff about her family, which there's no point to go into. Unfortunately, none of the news reports have said what the reaction was. There's snippets of what Tinubu said, there's snippets of what Ngige or Mahi said, but none of them spoke to that issue. None of them made any promises that they were going to include women. None of them made any promises about percentages. None of them made any promises about women as their running mate. And I have to ask, how well prepared was she for this dinner? Were other gender activists there? Were they given a chance to speak? Were there any fact sheets that were shared amongst the participants to give them a sense of how low women's representation is in Nigeria on the federal level, state level, local government level, and even within the public service? It's anybody's guess. I will keep watching this story to see what happens. This is not the first time a first lady has tried to ensure through the electoral process, through the political campaign, to get more women on board. But I'm not sure how far this will go. Let's keep watching. Now, if you haven't registered to vote, please do so. You still have until end of June to register for your PVC. Still have a chance to make your choice, a determining choice in the future of Nigeria. That's it this week from Political News in 5. Please join us again next week. Stay safe, stay well. Bye.